in the half Stephen Day. Hush your mouth, talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty, dirty D. Texas where we stay at. We inside in order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and nah, we don't play that. Work. This is Cowboy Nation. Work. Welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work. Y'all can keep on hate. Work.
Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. How you feeling? Welcome in. This is another episode of Defending the Boys. I am D. Will, and this episode is brought to you by the Car Wreck Attorneys at 1-833-OHIT. That's 1-833-OHIMHIT. The Car Wreck Attorneys at OHIT. If you ever hurt in a car or truck accident, give them a phone call. They're one of the best in the game. Let me tell you something about these guys. A lot of times when you call the guys that everybody else calls, the ones that's on the radio, it's thousands of customers calling them. They don't have time to give you the attention that you deserve. 1-833-OHIT has enough case managers where you can speak directly to somebody who's going to be on your side. And if you have to go to court, guess what? They're going to be the ones that's going to go to court for you. They're not just going to drop you because somebody said, oh, you know, this isn't a situation that we can help you. An insurance company denies the claim or something. They're going to say, why? Why did you declaim it? And they're going to work hard for you. So if you ever hurt in a car accident or a truck accident and you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area or anywhere in Texas for that matter, give them a phone call, 1-833-OHIMHIT. That's 1-833-644-6448. Do me a favor, subscribe, like. I'm still trying to get to, I'm hoping that I can be at 125 around the time that the next game actually gets here. Obviously, the overall goal is going to be 1,000 because that's where we can start to, really get into using all of the features of YouTube. But my first goal is actually just 100, and I'm 19 away from 100. So if you could please subscribe, cut the notifications on. I think I have some good stuff to say, so I need you to be able to hear it. So we watched some football games today. The Cowboys obviously did not win on Thursday, although they played an amazing game. There are no moral victories. But I did watch a lot of games. I watched the Pittsburgh game, but that was just because I wanted to see Aaron Rodgers played an incredible end of the game. But what I'm actually here to talk about is games that actually affect what's coming up for the Dallas Cowboys. So as you know, Chicago plays tomorrow. We'll be watching that game because that is going to be our third game. But I did watch the Giants play the Commanders. The Giants had a fairly decent defensive line that actually kept them in the game. But as a whole, and we'll talk about this week what our offense is going to need to do and then what our defense is going to need to do, the same that we did against Philadelphia. But as a whole, it just didn't look like the Giants is where they need to be to really compete in this division. This is a deep division. The Redskins, honestly, in my opinion, they didn't beat up on the Giants like I thought the Redskins should have beat up on the Giants. Not the Redskins, the Commanders. I apologize. That's still rough for me. I know it's been a bunch of years. It's rough for me. Y'all just going to have to get over it, okay? But the Commanders didn't play or didn't beat up on the Giants like I thought that they should. Now, I haven't figured out yet because it's just 1 week. Whether that means the Giants are just a little bit better or maybe that the Commanders aren't quite as good. And we'll talk about the Commanders when it's time to talk about the Commanders. The other game that I watched was the Green Bay game against Detroit. And either Detroit ain't Detroit, which I did say. If you go back and look at some of one of my posts, I think somewhere in the preseason, but I forgot exactly which one. But I said that Detroit wasn't going to be the same without Ben Johnson. So that's a possibility. Green Bay looked amazing, and we have to play them on the fourth game of the year. Obviously, I feel like we're going to continue to get better. The Cowboys will continue to get better. So if you remember when I spoke on my that's where I said it at. It's the projections. I projected that the Cowboys go 11-6. If you want to know which games we were supposed to win, which ones we were supposed to lose, then you can go back and look at that podcast. But I spoke about the fact that one of the things that was going to happen and how we were going to get better as the year gone, because this is our third defensive coordinator in 3 years. The defensive players are learning something new. Luckily, Eberflus did bring in some people that, were kind of familiar with what it is that he does. But as a whole, there has to be some gel, some everybody coming to adhesiveness when it comes to that defense. And I think every time that a game is played, we get a little bit better with the chemistry that it takes to be a good defense. And so I'm obviously hoping that by the fourth game, some of that chemistry is there. For this game, though, when I say this game, I'm talking about our next game versus the Giants. They have a really good defensive line, and I think it's going to be another great test for our offensive line. I didn't have a lot of issues in the last game with our offensive line. I felt like both Steele and Guyton on the tackles kind of missed some. Not all of them. I mean, it wasn't like every one of them he lost. And, we definitely saw fight out of Tyler Guyton. I mean, literally fighting, like boxing. Like he literally slapped a guy in his ear. His ears are probably still ringing. So I did see fight out of the defensive tackles. It wasn't like they were just getting ran all over, but I did see them miss a few, leaning forward, kind of getting out of position, and it made me a little bit nervous. I'm gonna have to chalk it up to the fact that we were playing the defending Super Bowl champion. We were playing the Eagles. We were playing a team that knows how to get after the quarterback. The Giants are a formidable defensive line, but I still feel like they're not the Eagles, and I feel like our offensive line is going to have an opportunity. Now, let's not overlook the fact that we played the Eagles without Jalen Carter because he's an idiot. Let's not act like that didn't happen. Okay, like we're going to be sensible fans around here, and we're going to definitely notate the fact that game was without him, and so our offensive line may have a little different task when it comes to playing them for the second game of the year. But I did obviously project that we do beat them on the second game of the year because we'll start to have some chemistry as a team by that time. But although that defensive line is good but not great, I didn't see anything out of their cornerbacks. And boy, is that going to be a problem. First of all, CeeDee Lamb came right home and went to the jugs. He didn't waste no time with it. He came right home and started catching passes, the hundreds and thousands of passes that he was catching from the jugs. CeeDee Lamb said that he's going to be a leader of this team, and that ain't happening again. I expect him to continue to have a good game. I say continue because the game, other than those drops, wasn't bad for CeeDee Lamb. It wasn't at all. So I expect for him to continue to have some good games. I don't think that they have anything in their secondary that is able to stop. Now, on the flip side of it, and again, we're going to get into this in a little bit more detail later on this week. But on the flip side, I feel like the defensive line should be able to get pressure. I'm not saying that they're horrible, the Giants' offensive line, but the Eagles' offensive line is very good, and it looked like we didn't have any pressure. And I said in my wrap up of the game that one of the things, my first impressions of the Eagles game was that we missed Micah Parsons. Even after watching the game again, there definitely just wasn't enough push. I'm going to keep saying in every episode that I do that James Houston needs to be on the football field. The man makes plays every opportunity that he gets, and we need to get him on the playing field as many times as we possibly can. And I think that's going to help the Cowboys if we can just figure out how to get James Houston on the playing field. We got to figure that out, right? But I feel like we're going to have a better chance. I've been looking at these games. You know, Donovan Ezeraku is supposed to be able to get to the quarterback. I haven't seen it yet. We're one game in. I have seen him play good. Don't get me wrong. I haven't seen 12 sack Donovan Ezeraku to make up for Micah yet. That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen. I'm not saying that he hasn't been playing well or that he's playing horrible. And honestly, there's some gap integrity that obviously he's trying to keep. And when you run up the field, you know, we saw Dante Fowler run up the field a couple of times, and now you're leaving gaps. I think it was Damone Clark did something very similar where he kind of left gaps. I just feel like there are some things that, as far as getting to the quarterback, we're going to be able to do a little bit better against the Giants than we were against the Eagles, because they don't have the staff or the players to actually stop what we're coming from. Do I think it's going to be another 40-3? Well, we beat them a couple of years ago. Now, I don't necessarily think it's going to be that. I think it'll be we should handle the Giants again. We'll talk about what the offense needs to do and what the defense needs to do later on. But we should be able to really play a fairly decent game. This should be our first win of the year coming against the Giants. We're going to watch Chicago tomorrow to see how that third game of the year again. But I still feel like even that game, even with Chicago being better than they were before, I still feel like that's going to be our second win of the year. We should go into Green Bay 2-1 based upon where my projections were. So we're going to see how accurate I stay, but I definitely believe after watching the Commanders and the Giants that this is a team that can move forward. Now, with that being said, I really would like to ask, because sure, Brian Schottenheimer will hear anything that this small podcast says, right? But I'm gonna throw my shot out there just in case. Shotty, there's a couple of things that I need from you moving forward. Okay, a couple of things that I need from you, Shotty. I gotta have it, Shotty. I need these things, Shotty. I need James Houston to be on the field. I need you to put Miles Sanders on the practice squad. I need you to bring up Jaden Blue. We trust Javonte Williams. He ain't did anything to make us displeased. He did his job. He ran hard. We like Javonte Williams. Bring up Jaden Blue. We're not asking him to be the starter. We're saying he doesn't get caught, okay? And if you're worried about the fumbles that he had in college, clearly that's an issue with Miles Sanders. As a matter of fact, Miles Sanders actually has a fumbling problem, a true fumbling problem. If you look at his stats throughout the years, Miles Sanders puts the ball on the ground. He does. So if that's our worry about Jaden Blue, Miles Sanders is going to do it. He's already proved it in the first game. Put him on a practice squad. Let him be what happens if somebody gets injured. But let's not have him playing no more. He don't do us no good. I mean, I respect the 50-yard run, but that man, as soon as he ran it, you could see that he was gassed. You could see that he was getting ready to be no good. Shotty, you should have pulled him out the game when the old man ran for them yards. You should have pulled him, but you didn't. You gave him the ball again. He fumbled. Dak had to make the tackle. You know how bad it would have been if Dak is making tackles because this running back fumbled and Dak injures himself, and now I'm stuck with Joe Milton. I'm upset. I would have been upset with you, Shotty. I would have been upset with you, okay? I'm just telling you. I need these things to happen. I really do. I really do. I don't think that the other things that I'd like to see, like I'd like to see Wanye Thomas on the field a little bit more. But that's not something I have to have. It's just something I like to see. But I got to have James Houston, and I got to have Jaden Blue. We got to put down. And if you don't want to put Jaden Blue, I don't know. Miles Miles Sanders isn't the one. I'll take Davis. I'll take him definitely over Miles Sanders. I'd rather have him. Matter of fact, that young man don't be on the field because of all kinds of crazy reasons. But Davis is Malik Davis. Is that his name? Man, I'm having a blank. He's a pretty decent running back. I'd rather have him than Miles Sanders. Whatever you do, sit down Miles Sanders. But I really do believe it should be Jaden Blue. Hey guys, I thank you guys for just coming in, listening to me rant a little bit about these other football games. This week we're going to really get to it. We're going to talk about what our Cowboys offense needs to do to win. And then we're going to turn around and talk about what our defense needs to do to win. We will have a defending the spread. We're going to record it on Tuesday night. So it'll probably be late Tuesday night when it actually comes out for defending the spread. We'll start talking about these parlays and different things like that. For the people who partake in a gamble or two. And we're going to do that on Tuesday afternoon. And then, we'll really get into the Giants and what we think need to happen. We're going to do our Cowboys fan talk. We'll record that on Wednesday. So Wednesday night, that is going to actually be what comes out. And that's when we're going to talk with a young man that is from Alabama. He lived in Dallas. He's a Dallas fan, but he's from Alabama. He still currently lives in Alabama, working for the radio station out there. And we'll get into all of that on Wednesday night. So if you enjoyed our Cowboys fan talk last week with Chris Murdaugh, then I'm sure you're going to enjoy the one that we have this week. So stay tuned, put the notification button, hit the notification button, push it, just point right, boom, just knock that notification button, subscribe button. You want to be able to hear what's actually coming in the Defending the Boys podcast. That's what this is, the Defending the Boys podcast. I am your boy, D. Will, and until tomorrow, I'm out.